Let's just go ahead and make sure that we get extra comfy for this week's Final Thoughts video because it's hate week. It's Miami versus Florida State, and we are less than 24 hours from kickoff. Now, if you're new here, this series is Final Thoughts, Couch Coop Confessions. The idea behind it is that if I've had a change of heart, this is my last opportunity to speak up and say something. You guys already know my score prediction for this game. As much as it pains me to say it, I have Florida State beating Miami by 22 points with a final score of 38-16. For Miami, that's probably 1 touchdown and 3 field goals. I do believe that Miami can find the end zone in this one. I know that sounds crazy because we only put up 6 points against NC State, but that doesn't necessarily just automatically mean we don't score against FSU. That's not the way things work. But, let's talk for a few minutes because I've received a lot of hate this week from both Florida State fans, which is obviously going to come with this, being a Miami Hurricanes YouTuber, but also from my own fellow fans, Miami fans. And honestly, I'm not even mad about it because I get it. Miami fans are frustrated right now. We want to win, and it makes people pissed at me whenever I come out and I predict a loss. But the reality is I go for accuracy with score predictions. And not to pat myself on the back, but I've been pretty darn accurate this year. We've hit the nail on the head with multiple teams several times this year. And you guys know I don't want to be right if I predict a loss. But you have to understand that this doesn't mean that all hope is lost. This doesn't mean that I don't think Miami can win. Miami can win. They can, and I wouldn't be shocked if Miami does find a way to win on Saturday. I'm serious. And you're going to be like, whoa, hold up, Coop. That doesn't make any sense. This is a rivalry game. This is Miami and Florida State. Florida State's not unbeatable. We're talking about a Seminoles team that struggled against Pitt in the first half last week. Now, at the end of the day, they did still dominate. They were also without their 2-star wide receivers, but I'm just saying they're not unbeatable. They barely beat Boston College, who's, had their ups and downs, but they're not that great of a football team. So, no, Florida State's not invincible. And like I said, when I say it wouldn't shock me if Miami finds a way to win, I mean, I wouldn't be just blown away and be like, wow, I can't believe we beat this unbeatable team. I never in a million years thought this would happen. I don't feel that way. Florida State's pass defense is one of the best in the nation statistically. They have allowed the fewest passing touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, possibly in college football. Don't quote me on that, but the number is very low. And that's super concerning for me because what has Miami been struggling with on the second half of this season since we got into ACC play? Our passing attack, our passing game, it's been garbage. And whether you want to point the finger at Dawson or TVD or a combination of the two or something else, it's not been good. Thankfully, we have been able to successfully run the ball pretty well. I understand it's not been super explosive, but we chip away at teams. And, Fletcher's a good back. I like Parrish. I like A.J. Allen. I don't like him as much in pass protection, but I do like him running the ball. Chaney and some other guys. I like the way we run the ball. But the problem is I am worried about becoming one-dimensional in this one and them basically just daring us to throw because that's probably what they're going to do based on, what the film has shown them. And, last week against Pitt's no powerhouse, but Florida State did not allow a single third down conversion in that game. Florida State is trending upward. They're riding this momentum train. They've already secured a spot in the ACC championship game, and they're making a run for the college football playoffs. So, yes, I'm super worried about this game because Miami's not trending upwards. We've lost 3 of our last 5, and the 2 that we did win both went to overtime against Virginia and Clemson. Oh, so of course I'm worried. It's been tough to talk trash this week. That's why I went back and forth with some Canes fans who said, Coop, you did not represent the fan base well this week when you made guest appearances on shows and stuff. Well, when a Florida State fan says, Coop, Tyler Van Dyke's not very good, what am I supposed to say? Help me out then. Give me a response. Provide a comeback that I can throw in their face because I was reaching this week. Now, like I said, it's not all doom and gloom because Miami could win this game. And do you know how funny it would be? All these Florida State fans running their mouths and, you know, they're one of the top teams in the country and we're winning a national championship this year, and then they lose to Miami late in the season like this. It could really throw a kink in their plans. I know they're already in the ACC championship game against Louisville, but they're not guaranteed to win that. Louisville's playing pretty dang good. So picture them losing to Miami, then they play like North Alabama and Florida, and then losing the ACC championship game, and everything they did at the beginning of the season was all kind of for nothing. I think it'd be pretty funny, right? But what I really need to see from Miami, what would make me happy in this game? And then we'll get into some details also. I just need to see Miami, for me personally, keep it within 14. They have Florida State as 14.5-point favorites. I would love to see Miami keep this within 2 touchdowns or win, obviously. Duh. If Miami wins, of course Coop's going to be happy. But I need to see them at the very least. This is what you have to understand. I don't shy away from the tough, touchy subjects. I need Miami to keep this game within 14 because I think they're capable of that, and they should do that. But let's talk about some things here with Florida State. Jordan Travis. I don't think he's a Heisman quarterback, but he is a dual threat. He hasn't had to run as much this season as he's had to do in the past. But I'm worried about him in the red zone. I'm worried about us accounting for him and taking him down if he does decide to run the ball. They have 2 just stars at the wide receiver position, Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson. Wilson is 6'7". Coleman loves the circus catches. They both missed last week. Maybe they won't be 100% this week. I never wish for injuries. You guys know my motto. I like to beat teams when they're at their best, so there's no excuses. But those guys will make an impact on the field on Saturday if they're both playing. And realistically, let me ask you guys, honest question. Who do we have at corner that can lock down those guys? Who do we have that matches up one-on-one with them? And I'm not talking about, don't throw James in there or Cam Kinchins at the safety position. I'm talking about a corner, one-on-one situation. They have to battle. Who matches up with those guys? I'm not really sure. Maybe somebody will step up. Maybe they will. And, you know, Porter's been a good corner for us. We have a few health concerns at the corner position at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see. In the run game, you know, Trey Benson, they really beefed him up a lot, but I'm not really worried about that. Miami can handle the run. You know, Benson's a pretty good running back, but Miami can handle stopping their run game. I don't think that'll be a problem. This will be one of the best defensive lines that they've played this season. Straight up, even with some of the injuries and things that we have. I think it will be one of the best. And I do think that we can give Florida State fits. We just can't go down early. I don't want to go down 14-0, 17-3. Miami needs to take control and jump out with some sort of lead, 10-0, 13-3. Put them in a hole. Put their backs against the wall. I don't want to play from behind. I want to be able to build a lead and then grind. That's the key to winning this game, I think, for Miami. Win the time of possession battle, even though they know that we're going to have to lean on the run game, run it down their throats anyways, get a lead, grind it out. I think that would be huge for this game, and I think it would be super helpful. Otherwise, man, I don't know. Quarterback, you know, I've already said I think that Tyler Van Dyke is going to start in this one. I don't know. We'll see on Saturday. We'll find out who it's actually going to be. I don't know that you can put him out there and then he throws a pick, then you yank him, and then in the second quarter you throw the freshman out there. Or, I don't know. There are no answers at the quarterback position right now for Miami other than hoping and praying that Tyler Van Dyke flips a switch and he comes out and looks like an absolute machine on Saturday. I don't know that he's capable of doing that, but I'm hoping and praying that maybe that happens. Because then what do we do? What do we do? Tyler comes out and plays lights out against our in-state rival Florida State. And after everything that's happened, bro, I don't know. I don't know. I just want you guys to know that not all hope is lost going into this game. I know that's been the vibe. I read the comments. I know what you guys are putting, and so many people are, if Coop doesn't believe, like, that's messed up. Like, against the Florida State game, not all hope is lost in this one. Miami can win. It's going to be a battle, though. It's definitely going to be a battle, and we need the ball to bounce our way with some things, for sure. I hope that we don't have our guys on defense get super discouraged, because we see that at times where they kind of take out some aggression because, the the offense puts the defense in bad positions after they're playing hard and keeping us in games. So then you start to see guys, take out some frustration by trying to lay the big hit instead of wrapping up. And we don't really play to the best of our ability late in the game due to the frustrations, which is completely understandable. I get it. The offense can't put the defense in such bad positions over and over again in this game. And we need to have some explosive special teams play. I'm hoping that Brashard is back there returning some punts and some kicks, because he sets us up with some pretty good field position. Andy, we're going to need you on Saturday. We're going to need you to hit those long field goals potentially, and I know you can do it. I know you can. Somebody's also going to have to step up in that receiver room or in that tight end group, man. You know how huge it would be if Miami could finally get the tight ends involved in this one? Again, it's tough to expect that now at this point in the season. There's 3 games left. So, you start to see things that you've done all year, and it's tough to expect something totally different in mid-November out of the team, because you just don't see that very often. But maybe, just maybe, we can find a way to get the tight ends involved in this passing game a bit, and that would be huge. That would open up some things for us. And if we do have to settle with the dink and dunk offense, like if we got to focus on the short to intermediate passing game, as long as we can find success there and get the ball in the hands of our playmakers, let's do it. Whatever we find success in on Saturday, like let's lean into that. We already know that we can probably run the ball. Maybe be a little bit more creative with it, but there are opportunities there. Otherwise, man, I think that's about it. Florida State's defense is pretty legit. They got some good edge rushers out there, so I'm worried about whoever's playing quarterback. The O-line's going to have to play lights out for sure. But Florida State's not perfect, man. And I think it would be so fitting that their first loss comes from the Miami Hurricanes. And you guys know this is the way it works, right? Since Miami lost to Georgia Tech, that means Florida State also lost to Georgia Tech if we do end up beating them. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just the way it works. It's it's the way this thing works. It is what it is. But, man, it would be great. It would be wild because Miami has gotten up. I want to close with saying this. Miami has won the games that they weren't supposed to win. Not all of them, but we beat an SEC team for the first time in 10 years, Texas A&M. We beat Clemson for the first time in 13 years. Take away the record this season. I'm just talking about those are big-time games for us. This is a big-time game for us. We lost 45-3 last year. Can we win another big game this season? We got nothing. We really kind of got nothing to lose. ACC championship's out of the picture. College football playoffs are out of the picture. I mean, you always have something to lose. It could negatively impact recruiting, and it's just a bad look, period. But go out there and throw everything at Florida State plus the kitchen sink. Be creative. Take chances. And if we do that and a couple things go our way, and maybe Florida State, a couple of their players wake up on the wrong side of the bed on Saturday morning, maybe, just maybe, Miami could get another big win this year. It won't turn the entire season around. It won't make up for the issues and the things that happened earlier. But a win over Florida State, with us being 6-3 going into it, them 9-0, that's big. So I don't know. Let me know your final thoughts down below. This is your last chance to say, Coop, I told you so. I told you Miami could do it. Or stick to your guns. If you're predicting a loss, and say, Coop, I just don't see Miami being able to pull this one out, but I'm still repping the U, and I still love the Canes. Because that's where I'm at, man. I still love Miami. I'm gonna be yelling and screaming on Saturday during the live hangout. I'm gonna be supporting the squad. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see what our team is made of on Saturday, going up against a really good Florida State team.